We're learning a class action lawsuit has been filed against parking companies operating in communities all across Colorado after a series of CBS Colorado investigations.
LAZ Parking, Asura Technologies, and Parking Revenue Recovery Services, also known as PRRS. That company collects the fees for parking violations, and they've been the focus of scrutiny for years now. Your investigator, Karen Morfitt, has been reporting on community concerns about the technology being used since 2023, uncovered details about a settlement with the state for what was referred to as predatory tactics. They never admitted fault, but they did agree to a number of changes. Still, we have continued to receive and report on issues with their ticketing and collection practices. And tonight, that federal lawsuit raising new concerns about how they are getting your information.
And Karen joins us in studio now. Karen, you've been asking about this for months.
Yeah, since March of last year. And now we know that this lawsuit is asking much of the same questions. They are claiming that the companies are unlawfully obtaining and using personal information of drivers. That is they claim that's violating a federal law that protects that information. Again, we've raised this question with PRRS before, back in March, the spokesperson telling us then that they're in compliance with that law and that they get their information through state authorized portals.
For more than a year, we've been hearing from Coloradans concerned about parking tickets from PRRS showing up in their mailboxes. In November of 2023, we shared their concerns.
I know people that if they got a letter like that, they would just freeze and they would panic.
It's bullying, it's fear.
It reeks of pressure.
How those tickets made it to their homes is now the focus of a federal lawsuit. Attorneys pointing to 3 companies: LAZ Parking, PRRS, and Asura Technologies. Together, they provide 24-hour monitoring at lots across Colorado. Using cameras, they can scan license plates and send tickets directly to violators, or in some cases, paying customers by mistake. The suit claims that those companies are illegally obtaining drivers' personal information through their DMV records. The complaint goes on to say that those companies are violating what's known as the Driver Privacy Protection Act, or DPPA, a federal law that restricts access to motor vehicle records and prohibits sharing personal information such as names and addresses without the driver's written consent, though there are certain exceptions. Parking enforcement, those attorneys argue, is not one of them. Those we've spoken with have long questioned who shared their information, a question we took directly to PRRS. Co-owner John Conway responded by saying they are in compliance with DPPA and, quote, "our access is through state-authorized portals."
Now, a spokesperson for Colorado's Department of Motor Vehicles tells us that parking enforcement companies can subscribe to registration information via the state's bulk data vendor, which raises more questions for us. First, what is that agreement between the vendor and the state, and who else are they allowing to subscribe to our information? Now, PRRS official statement today to the lawsuit was that they can't comment on pending litigation. We've also reached out to LAZ Parking and Asura Technologies. We have not heard back from them.
We'll be interested to see what happens with this lawsuit. We can always stay on top of it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Karen.